as a league made up of women, made up of majority of women of color, our voices are very unique in this fight. There is something special about the platform that athletes have. So we understood that if the WNBA put the season on, this is the only way we're going to be heard.
I think the moment was too important to not talk about Breonna Taylor. We didn't want any of that to get lost or forgotten.
Welcome back to GMA3. That's a clip from the new documentary, Power of the Dream.
It chronicles the rise and impact of the WNBA on and off the court. Please welcome league icon Sue Bird and director-producer Don.
Thank you, guys. Good to see you.
Don, I want to start by asking you, the beginning of this documentary, it really starts with some heavy issues. Why do you think it was so important right at the beginning to start with the league's activism and the push for social justice?
You know, the activism really is in the DNA of the W, and each player that we spoke to, each participant, repeatedly made that point. So, you know, these women have always been fighters. They didn't have the luxury of just taking for granted people's attention. I think it's also really important that they were just coming out of a collective bargaining agreement. And so having that unity, having that working together, they took that energy and then they were like, this is what's next. You know, they have always been social justice advocates and they didn't hesitate. They jumped right in when they saw the opportunity to use the platform they have for some good.
And so speaking of activism, the WNBA was one of the first to put LGBTQ plus awareness in arenas. What do you think about how far we have come?
I mean, we still have a long way to go, but I think when you take moments to look back from where you started and where you are now, and even for the WNBA, just looking back on this bubble season in 2020 that we had, to see where the league is now, what we've been able to do on the court, off the court. I mentioned it in that clip you showed, the makeup of our league. This is a league full of women that have experienced all of society's issues. And so we understand if you help the most vulnerable groups, you're really helping everybody. And we've just leaned into that.
Don, looking at the impacts that the league has made, what do you think their greatest accomplishments off the court have been?
You know, it's hard to list because there have been so many.
That's a good question right there, yeah.
But I think, you know, when I see all children kind of looking up to these women, you know, like I know that my kids are like, you know, they have like their favorite fans. And, you know, it's kind of cliched, but it's like, if you can't see it, you can't be it. And I know, you know, when I was in 5th grade and I won the free throw contest, which I don't know that I mentioned that. She's not the only star there, just want to mention that. But there was no professional women's sports team to look to. So, you know, my interest went other places. And now when I see particularly young girls, but any kid who's interested in sports says like, this could actually be me. And, you know, so when they do that on the court, you know, their excellence, but then off the court, their passion, that's what always is really exciting.
Talk about a trailblazer. I love that. Sue, let's talk about Caitlin Clark. She's a rookie now, and she's been bumped around a little bit on the court. Any advice for her? This is a part of the game, you know, and everybody's like, wait a minute, they're picking on her.
No. I know that's been a hot topic. You know, the WNBA is a physical league. It's something that all rookies have to adjust to. I think Caitlin is doing great. I think the thing that makes me sad is how they've kind of pitted Caitlin and the other rookies against the vets of the WNBA and vice versa, as if they're getting picked on. And, you know, to circle it back to the documentary, I know what I'm doing over here. To circle it back to the documentary, I mean, this is a league, like I said, physical, competitive. We were in this bubble season, seeing each other like on the lunch line, in the elevator, then having to play against each other on the court. Fierce competition, a lot of physicality. But when it comes down to it, we support each other. That's really what this documentary is also, but it really showcases that support. So back to Caitlin, she'll be fine. She's doing well.
I was about to say, any advice? You say she's doing fine.
I'll text her if I have advice.
Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure having you guys on.
Thank you so much for being here. And be sure to check out Power of the Dream, June 18th on Amazon Prime Video.